Today, we're looking at the disaster situation behind one of the newest Corridor Crew videos, where a group of VFX guys claim to fix video game faces by lazily applying AI filters while freaking out about how good it looks, ultimately brushing over the real work of those video game designers while also pissing off many of their own fans, including myself. Corridor Crew is one of the channels on YouTube I've watched almost religiously over the past 2 years. Their videos are some of the most high quality across all of YouTube, and tons of people have learned something from them. But over the past 2 years, Corridor Crew's had a number of slip-ups that have not gone unnoticed by their dedicated community, all of which have added up to this massive amount of backlash following this recent video of theirs. And we're going to talk about all of that today, as I walk you through what seems to be a major falling off and disaster situation for Corridor Crew. But if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Austin. I make videos staying caught up on the latest internet drama and news, so if that sounds like your thing, feel free to stick around. We just passed 20,000 subs, which I never thought would be possible in my life, let alone this year. So thanks for the early birthday gift. It's been a ton of fun just making these videos and sharing random internet stories with you guys. But that's enough talking, let's get into the story. The recent controversy began on October 4th when Corridor Crew uploaded this video titled, "We Fixed Faces in Video Games." But before we dive into this dumpster fire of a video, I need to lay out context on who Corridor Crew actually is, and why it's their fans that are the most upset about this recent video, on top of about a dozen others. First, Corridor is a channel and company of around 9.9 million subscribers. The company is made up of 1 to 2 dozen VFX artists and former movie industry workers. The videos they upload on this main channel are more like short films that flex their budget VFX work, which is generally very high quality. Their second channel is called Corridor Crew, and over here they've gathered 6.2 million subs across over 1,000 videos. This is more like a behind-the-scenes channel for the company where they upload far more. And it includes videos with a number of fun VFX challenges, along with series like VFX Artists, Animators, or Stuntmen React. In these React videos, they lend their own expertise and bring in industry professionals to lend insight into what really goes into making some of the most popular movie and TV show scenes. Over the past 2 years, I've binged pretty much every one of these videos. They're genuinely extremely interesting, and I feel like I'm able to appreciate movies and TV shows more after watching these. All of this context to say, I'm not here to hate on Corridor Crew. Okay, maybe I am a little bit, but it's only because I believe in them and their ability to change from the new low that they're at today. But we can't get into this fixing faces with AI video yet, because Corridor's fall from their fans' graces didn't happen overnight. Corridor Crew enjoyers, like myself, have been marking this descent into more gimmicky and artificial content for more than 2 years. So let's walk the timeline back to where it all started and chart this downfall so we can see if it's as bad as the critics are marking it up to be. Many people are pointing back to March 21st, 2021 as to where it all began, because they uploaded this video titled "Beeple Explains What is an NFT." And you're probably thinking, what the hell is a Beeple? Well, he was one of the first guys to make millions off of NFTs, which now in 2023 carry a dramatically different weight than back in 2021 when he sold this thing for $69 million. It's a collage of his first 5,000 days of making art that he eventually turned into NFTs. Now, I don't have to say much about the reputation of NFT art, even back in 2021, when this random guy is able to make hundreds of millions of dollars off of his daily art challenge. But who cares about the integrity of the art when it's making a shitload of money? Certainly not Corridor Crew, because they brought on this Beeple guy to explain to their audience why you should buy into the NFT scam. Then followed up 3 days later with this video titled "Artist Sells JPEG for $69 million. So we challenged him to an art duel. In this video, they demonstrate how meaningless the art is that goes into NFTs. It's amazing that a semi-educational channel like Corridor Crew can't immediately identify the lack of artistic depth behind shilling NFTs to your audience. They seem far too excited about how they could potentially profit from the scam themselves, which was noticed by their audience on these 2 videos, which racked up 2,000 to 3,000 dislikes each. Still a far cry from the more than 15,000 dislikes on the video we're talking about today, but again, this was only the beginning. After this little incident, almost a year goes by, and on February 20th, 2022, Corridor Crew uploads this video called "Watch People Realize They're Actually Talking to a Deepfake." During this video, the VFX team creates highly detailed scans of their faces by taking multiple photographs. Then they create an AI deepfake model that can be used like a face filter during a Zoom call so they can see if they can prank their coworkers. Even with this just being a year and a half ago, AI technology was still just gaining traction. People didn't even have the ability to generate crappy AI art yet. Overall, this video came across as a genuine attempt to test where the technology was at, while providing commentary on what this could mean for amateur VFX moving forward. And this was reflected in the massive like to dislike ratio. Clearly, no VFX sins committed so far, just a slight hiccup with the NFT thing. But now we really get the ball rolling with this video titled, "Is This the Death of VFX?" It was uploaded around a year ago on September 25th, 2022, and includes the VFX guys messing around with new AI image generation technology. Mostly taking reference photos of themselves and then generating themselves in nerdy fantasy environments. A far cry from the death of VFX, but maybe a signal for the death of creativity. Overall, the tech was new and cool enough at the time that the video only racked up around 1,500 dislikes. Again, no major VFX sins here, but this will all add up to a bigger picture pretty soon. The next incident happened a couple months later on November 13th when they uploaded this video, "We Put Tom Holland into the Spider-verse." And this video is essentially the culmination of their efforts from the Zoom deepfake and Death of VFX videos, demonstrated by combining stable diffusion art generation with deepfake style filters using their real reference video. Ultimately to do what the title says and put Tom Holland into the Spider-Verse movie. The critiques on this video come from the fact that they pretty much just take their reference video and then type Spider-Verse style into the art machine. And then they act amazed while it applies pretty shitty filters for them based on the not shitty work the real artists did for the movie, only to push out an extremely subpar product in the end.
Are you from another dimension?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll make it quick.
However, despite around 2,000 dislikes on this one, there were still some fans applauding their efforts in the comments. Following this, they actually had a short stint against AI, which included this video called "Professional VFX Artists Explain How to Spot Fake Videos." During this video, they, along with industry professionals, explain what makes a deepfake video stand out as fake. And while I'm sure this was useful information about a year ago, deepfakes have only gotten infinitely better since then, so I'm not sure how much this advice actually applies anymore.
There are a few specific things you can look at. First, there's like general expression. And in deepfakes, you always lose expression. And that's just a feeling.
But at this point, I feel like we have pretty good context on Corridor Crew's opinion on AI art generation, and their willingness to utilize it even at the cost of quality. Now we're at the point where things really start to heat up, because now we get into the anime rock, paper, scissors drama. And this alone is an ongoing mess. In January of this year, Corridor Crew uploaded this video commenting on the state of live action anime in Hollywood. The description reads, "In preparation for their next anime-style short film, Sam and Nico compare classic anime series with their Hollywood adaptations." Throughout the video, the VFX guys compare popular anime scenes to their live-action counterparts and call out what makes anime unique and why certain aspects don't translate one-to-one with real-life filmmaking. Numerous times during the video, they take notes on what makes anime great, which they say is the incredible amount of detail and impact during action sequences, as well as the expressive physics of the characters. And this video was received extremely well, with thousands of anime fans in the comments echoing their criticisms of modern live-action anime remakes. Unfortunately, however, this wave of support wouldn't last too long, because around a month later, on February 26th, the Corridor channel uploaded their short film, Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors. And if you watch a few seconds, you immediately may notice something weird, because the entire film was created using that cluster of artificial VFX that they used to create the Tom Holland Spider-verse video. Only this time, they told on themselves in a way that didn't make a lot of people happy, because simultaneously, they uploaded on the Corridor Crew channel a video titled, "Did we just change animation forever?" During the video, they detailed the process of creating this short film, which they reveal included training an AI on tens of thousands of frames of the anime Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Their decision to abandon actual storytelling and film quality in favor of stolen AI art video filters sparked an insane amount of backlash online, mostly over on Twitter. At this point, the critiques on soulless AI art are well known, so I'm not going to waste any time going through all of them. All I will say is, I think there's a right way to demonstrate the technology workflow that you guys have put together, but it's about the exact opposite sentiment as, did we just change animation forever? Like, no, you can't make a claim as bold as that and then shit out an animation so bad, not a single paused frame of it looks legit. This video and the backlash actually got so big, Ludwig over at the Mogul Mail covered it. And this is the point where many of us Corridor Crew fans started to sour on the channel's affinity for incorporating AI art into their videos. And in order to cover their tracks, Corridor Crew tried uploading this follow-up video, in which they show a before and after of their reference video compared to the AI-generated filter. I guess they were trying to show how much work they put into the back end, but this only drew out more critics after they revealed how mindless this process was compared to actually making an anime. An opinion that Corridor Crew only contributed to after they put this in their description. Anyone can learn how to do this. We make a 1-hour click-by-click tutorial on corridordigital.com. Yeah, not a great look when your anime was literally created using stolen art. This video also received a strong amount of dislikes, but in no way would this dissuade Corridor Crew from leaning into the whole mess further, because shortly after this VFX reveal, they rolled the animation into their Animators React series on the channel. Traditionally, it's a series where they have professional animators react to popular scenes from animated movies or TV shows. Towards the end of the episode, Nico says,
"So we made an animation.
What?
In the time since you came and visited us, we've developed a technique to let us basically trace over footage of ourselves on the green screen to make it look like a cartoon.
No way.
It's gonna look a little different at first, but I'm curious at what, does it fade and just become a thing that you watch?
It's like Nico-mation.
Yeah.
The clip goes on to have the pro animators exclaim over how good it looks.
Oh my gosh, that's better than the backgrounds in Beauty and the Beast.
Which, to be fair, this guy literally worked on Beauty and the Beast, so he's allowed to make jokes like that. But almost immediately, one of them throws out that,
"This is AI."
This is AI. Amongst many other things.
AI, no! Look how good that looks. We're out of a job.
just an absolutely awful way to add on to all of the backlash following the anime rock, paper, scissors video in the first place. Can you imagine how they're going to react when he tells them that they actually stole the art style off a pre-existing anime? But the animators go on by roasting the animation.
All right, so the lip sync's off, definitely. There's some bad mouth shapes. Although the shadows look like they're underwater a little bit. They're like ripply effects.
They go on to say,
whatever you did here, you've opened Pandora's box.
Somebody had to open it. Figured it'd be us.
which is an oddly malicious tone to take when you're talking about replacing actual animators with VFX nerds and then teaching these skills to your community behind a paywall. But at this point in the timeline, I wouldn't say they're acting on this AI stuff out of malicious intent. I genuinely think they're just naive when it comes to understanding the criticism surrounding AI art online. And we're gonna see this come to fruition as we watch their catalog of AI videos grow. But this all went down around the beginning of March. We're gonna skip a few months to August 6th, when Corridor Crew continued the AI saga by uploading a video titled, "Is this AI art or is this something new?" where they dare to ask the question,
Are we witnessing the birth of a new art form?
which, according to the 3,000 dislikes on this video, I'm sure a lot of people had something to say about. Then Nico says this about anime rock, paper, scissors.
And due to our use of AI in that project, it ended up becoming one of the most controversial things we've ever done. And now we're doing it again.
The video starts with Nico explaining that they already made anime rock, paper, scissors 2, and you can watch it right now behind the paywall on their website. By the look of the teaser they play here for just a few seconds, it doesn't look like they fixed anything about the weird mouth shapes. But Nico does note that,
So one of the main points of controversy with the first rock, paper, scissors was that we had trained the style on a pre-existing anime named Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, which is a great movie and you should go check it out. But with rock, paper, scissors 2, it was important to us to figure out how to train in our own art style from our own art that we create from scratch. So that's one of the things we set out to do with this project.
He adds that for this version, they've upped the number of shots from 80 all the way up to 400. And there are dozens of different environments now compared to just the castle setting for the first one. On top of this, many of the shots include even more hand animated elements than the first. For the most part, the AI filter is taking care of the character animation, which still needs to be paired with the other background elements, whether they're AI generated or not. Then Nico adds in this section addressing the controversy.
Now there's a lot of discussion around AI being transformative versus derivative. And when we made the first rock, paper, scissors, a lot of these conversations were brought to the forefront. So I don't want to speak for anyone else's viewpoint here. All I can really offer is my experience as an artist using these tools. If you are someone who's concerned about AI in the art space, well, I invite you to come along as I show you how we use it in the creation of a scene for Rock, Paper, Scissors 2, and I'll let you decide if our work connects with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just completely misunderstanding what the actual criticism was regarding the first anime Rock, Paper, Scissors. The major complaints were about the fact that you trained your AI model off of an existing anime and then uploaded a video with the cringy title, "Did we just change animation forever?" when the AI animation you created was actually just complete garbage.
I will offer one opinion, if you would be so kind as to indulge me. I think good art elicits an emotional reaction regardless of what tools or techniques are used. And that emotional connection is different for every single person. So at the end of the day, all we can do is offer what we create, and the rest is up to you.
Yeah, me after I steal your drawings and then train my AI on them so that when you get mad I'm copying you, I can just claim it's good art. If your definition says good art just has to elicit an emotional reaction, then this monkey NFT is basically a Picasso. The next section of the video, Nico justifies them making a second anime rock, paper, scissors, and walks through every step of the process, making sure to drop numerous comments about how they're so hands-on every step of the way, only to show a finished product at the end that looks like some trash I could generate with an AI in seconds.
So once that's done, we repeat that process for every single shot until we have a scene, like this one.
Father's grave. He taught me everything, but now that I stand here, I'm filled with questions.
Yeah, I'm filled with questions too. Like, you really thought this was the best clip to demo your sick new tech? Dare I say, it looks worse than before. They spend the last section of the video, which is titled A New Art Form, basically jerking themselves off about how much better this looks than the first one. And look, I don't have any problem with Corridor Crew doing their weird AI video filter thing. They just need to stop kidding themselves about it actually being comparable to real animation. It's behavior I would expect from a high school media class, not a multi-million-dollar company. And they're the adults selling these courses and ideas to the next generation of VFX artists. Earlier, during the Animators React video, Nico said they might as well open Pandora's box. Well, I think the company forgot that's a bad thing, because at this point, it feels like they're intentionally profiting off of and promoting AI animation in bizarre ways, when they could just work with actual animators they're friends with to discover how AI tools could actually assist their workflow. Instead, the company's trying to fast-track tools to make sure they could replace that job whenever needed. But moving on, because 4 days later, on August 12th, Corridor officially uploaded Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2. And for the most part, this one flew under the radar and didn't receive nearly the amount of backlash the original did, with only 8,000 dislikes compared to the former 39,000. Regardless, many of the critics' concerns weren't resolved in this one.
This is boring. I can't believe Father is making us hunt for our own food.
Philip, quiet. Father brought us here to teach us a valuable lesson. Can't you see?
Today, you must embark on a hunt.
Yep, it looks like shit again, especially anytime there's facial movement. But I'll admit, they do have some moments where they actually made something cool. Some of the animation work is still garbage, but the ideas are far better than the first. Even then, the voiceover matching is so awful, I'm not going to make us watch any more of it. 1 day later, Corridor Crew uploaded the sequel to Cringe, also known as Did We Just Change Animation Forever Again?
But what if I told you that the clips you're watching right now were created with free software and just a couple of buddies working together? Now you might be saying, Nico, those are just a couple clips. There's no way you guys can do a whole episode of a cartoon. You aren't even traditional animators. Well, watch as we attempt to invent a new way of doing animation. And if we pull it off, you will see stories from small creators like us that you've never seen before.
Oh god, I hope not. We don't need this awful mashup of video and anime. We already have proof like One Piece that live action anime can work, so why not focus on that? Also, there's plenty of examples of anime being created with a team their size. They haven't invented a new way of being efficient, just a shortcut around learning real skills. Nico makes a pretty bad joke here, poking fun at the people complaining that this technology will eliminate real animators' jobs by relating the criticism to how they're using AI to eliminate the need to film with children.
So to test if that's possible, we are shooting the first scene of Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2, where we are looking at the princes when they are young children. And that means, well, either we film with kids or we use the promise of this new technology and we film ourselves and we turn ourselves into those characters as kids. They say never film with animals or children. So we're using machine learning to eliminate jobs from children. I know, people might get upset. You know, eliminating all those jobs for kids, you know, getting rid of that child employment, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
And while this is just a random joke related to AI taking away jobs, the fact that Nico or the company has yet to address these very same concerns that people have about their tech potentially taking away animators' jobs lets me know that they likely feel the same way about just doing what you gotta do when it comes to releasing Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2. Just ready to take the same criticism they faced following the first one and unwilling to actually learn from their fans' concerns. Nico goes even as far as to defend the way they stole the Vampire Hunter art style.
Now, if you look specifically at the style of Rock, Paper, Scissors 1, if you look at the frames, they don't actually look 100% like Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. There's certainly like some DNA in there.
I mean, it's not like there's some DNA in there. Your generated AI filter is literally trained on that DNA. Just because your style isn't one-to-one with the original doesn't change the process of how you created it. It's weird how they constantly tiptoe around valid criticisms by throwing out weak arguments. But apparently, for the second one, Nico had a longtime artist friend that he was able to reach out to create the character model sheets for Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2.
And for this, I have a longtime artist friend I'm going to reach out to. And he's going to help us design the look for Rock, Paper, Scissors 2 to create these character model sheets. And if successful, we should be able to define our own style for this episode.
So it looks like they did the right thing on this one, at least when it comes to not stealing art in order to train your AI. Sure, there's still the valid argument that the AI is likely referencing existing anime, but whatever, I'll give them the credit here. The rest of the video, they talk about the benefits of the more up-to-date AI filter technology, despite that not really having a major effect on the final product. But they go on to highlight their hand animation process and how they source the music. Fortunately, it's a real guy, not AI music. And this video, despite addressing some of the fans' concerns, still received a fair amount of dislikes. And a few days later, they uploaded their VFX reveal before and after for Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors 2. This flew mostly under the radar and only picked up around 1,000 dislikes. But that concludes at least the Anime Rock, Paper, Scissors drama. It's not exactly why we're here today, but it's still a huge part of the criticism that's stacked up against Corridor Crew over the past 2 years. It's at this point in the timeline that longtime fans of the channel have started to notice Corridor Crew's overindulgence when it comes to using AI-based VFX. An argument that was further supported by the lazy use of AI image generation in their recent September 20th video's thumbnail. But finally, we're caught up to today, and we can talk about the reason for me making this entire video. It's because on October 4th, Corridor Crew uploaded a video that was originally titled "We Fixed Faces in Video Games." And wow, is it a disaster.
Video games are notorious for having crude, mannequin-like human beings. If you're playing a game, you just have to learn to ignore it or accept it if you want to enjoy the game.
So at the start of the video, Nico here explains that the problem that needs to be fixed with video games is the crude, mannequin-like movement of humans. And after playing Starfield, I don't completely disagree, but there's plenty of games with less than quality character animation or design that are still completely enjoyable. Gamers aren't actually asking for more realism.
But we've discovered a new tool from the VFX world that, when combined with video games, could revolutionize how characters are rendered.
Wow, that looks great. no, it doesn't. It looks like it's washed out and you just applied a soft skin makeup filter.
Imagine your favorite character, but as a real person with a photorealistic face.
Finally!
So, as you can see, this is a fucking nightmare. It's not exactly groundbreaking to claim you're fixing video game faces by applying an AI face filter that completely removes any actual detail. And a ton of the Corridor Crew fans weren't happy about this either, with backlash starting on Twitter almost immediately following the video's upload. But we'll go through some of the best takes and jokes in a second. First, let's talk about some of these fixed faces, because after the video gained 8,000 dislikes in one day, Corridor Crew was caught red-handed, changing the video title to "We Try Putting Photoreal Faces in Video Games." And unfortunately for them, this title change didn't exactly shield them from further backlash, because despite the difference in wording, the video went on to rack up another 7,000 dislikes. So let's check out some of the worst fixed faces from this video.
Before, in Meridian, you said there was
This one was so good.
Holy sh**.
He's gone, Varl. I haven't heard from him since the battle against Hades.
You don't have to look closely to notice that the filtered character's face looks nothing like the original design. It seems like the AI just takes the original face as reference and then spits out the most generic person it can think of based off the race and gender. So much of the actual facial structure is completely gone.
These are two different expressions. Like the one on the left has a little bit of like, sorry for this next part, whereas the one on the right is kind of neutral.
The cost is just like a little bit more muted at the benefit of getting it a little more realistic.
I mean, that trade-off sounds like bullshit, considering your main complaint at the beginning of this video was that video game characters are too crude and mannequin-like. Why can't they just admit that theirs looks worse?
Here it is with the face morph.
Yes, wow. Oh, wow. That looks great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That looks great. The shadow of the nose and the face is really well done. Like the way it curves over like the front of her lips there and stuff.
Again, just an example of how the AI filter completely removes the original emotion the character was expressing. In their own example, the face morph isn't even looking the right direction.
And now you have a brother.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, wow. Pretty good.
Dude, that one is the best one. Chat, dude.
It's like they don't notice that the AI completely removes all of the dirt and grime that actually gives the character its realism.
Be that guy who ruins Jameson's early retirement like that.
Right.
The eyes lose expressiveness.
Yeah, no one's feeling anything in this scene.
It's weird how they all admit how garbage this actually looks, while Nico's still acting like they discovered something useful to video game designers. There's multiple points in the video where he's making weird comments, like this one where he's saying video game designers can't animate lips.
Man, it's a freaking, nobody knows how to animate lips, apparently. Apparently these people think lips slide up and down vertically. Yeah, like that.
Oh no. I've got to rate this tomb.
Which is hilarious coming from them, considering they know so little about animating lips, they couldn't even get their AI to do it properly for the second anime rock, paper, scissors. They have so little room to talk, this just sounds like pure copium.
It's the dude, it's Michael or whatever his name is from GTA.
No, it's Franklin.
It's Franklin. Oh.
That's great.
Dude, what the fuck?
That's sick. Who's this? Oh, this is Lamar? Lamar? Wow. Let's go. That's sick.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Maybe.
Wow, that looks great. That one looks great.
That one looks incredible.
Yeah, he looks like a real person there. I wish I could play the whole game like this.
Look, I don't know how, but this just feels racist somehow. Like they're doing blackface in the future or something.
Who's this guy? It's Conrad.
I don't know who Conrad is.
Oh, dude, this is the guy. Woo!
Man, what the hell am I looking at?
Oh, he's so crusty, man. I don't remember him being so crusty. That's the biggest glow up I've seen yet.
It just straight up doesn't look like the original character at all. Like it yassified his mustache for some reason and gave him a nose job.
Classic Bethesda.
Bethesda quality.
It's not that I don't want to believe in anything. It's that my scientific mind is often at odds with my spiritual center.
I'm pretty sure nobody actually had a problem with the Bethesda character models. It was more the stiff animation, which this AI filter doesn't exactly improve. What did this really do? Just give her blue eyes and different makeup?
This is like the perfect use for AI, guys. It's like one image to solve so many hours of gameplay where you have to look at that.
It's embarrassing how hard they're riding for this terrible face filter. Like, if this wasn't AI and they actually had to put in the work to make this shitty product, there's no way in hell they'd be this happy about it. It's sad to see them think they're actually doing something.
And all the Bethesda characters are really robotic anyway.
And so you're not losing any performance, you're just gaining fidelity.
Yeah,
so this seems like literally the perfect application.
Yeah.
That doesn't even make any sense. And this AI doesn't actually improve on any of the complaints that they had about video games during the beginning of this video. If anything, applying this AI face morph filter just makes characters more crude and mannequin-like, while also changing the character's face to not blend in with the actual setting whatsoever.
Friggin' Johnson.
He got a glow up from that.
Yeah, he really glowed up.
Oh, nice, dude. Let's go. Johnson. Oh, I would freaking love that.
Like, I'm connecting with this character right now. I'm picking up all his emotions. I'm ready to fight.
Dude, I want to fight for him.
Okay, no shot, dude. This is just a completely different guy than the original.
I can't tell if there's a certain like animation threshold where it's just weird having the faces be realistic or if it's actually better.
I can't tell if AI's completely removed these guys' ability to be objective about anything. It obviously looks worse. Why would you want an AI filter to come in and just replace the face? To maintain any sort of realism, you'd have to upgrade the rest of the visuals in the game too.
Just seeing this like stable diffusion versions really show you how much these like portraits and characters are missing. And it's like, even though the video version like loses the expressiveness in the eyes, like the rendering quality of them really shows off like, okay, we're talking about like the shading of the eyelid on the eyeball, even like the reflection of the eyelid on the eyeball, the eyes just suddenly look real.
I think these guys have photorealism confused with a video game actually being better. Sure, it looks more like a random person you'd find working at Starbucks, but it completely removes the character designer's original intent in favor of some Americanized version of them. There's nothing less human about a design than taking all of the hand-placed pixels away and replacing them with some computer algorithm nonsense.
Those proportions are an artist looking at a person's face and being like, I'm gonna get as close as I can, but at the end of the day, that stable diffusion process just takes those proportions and just goes yoink, and kind of like tightens them up.
Lose it all together.
Character designers aren't trying to make the average person you'd pass by walking down the street. That's the whole purpose of video games, to not be like real life. Of course, some AI generated person is going to look more real and proportionally accurate to you. It's literally spitting out a generalized person based on what you're feeding it. It's so dumb to push this idea that video game designers are doing their best to come up with realistic looking people, but nobody can quite figure it out. It's obvious why they didn't try to fix any of the faces in a newer game like Spider-Man or Cyberpunk, because this tech has already been figured out by studios in a way that's useful, that doesn't rely on an AI-generated shortcut. And yeah, AI has been used for years already to help improve workflows and unlock new possibilities for video game designers. But Corridor Crew obviously hasn't put any time into learning those useful skills, and they'd rather shit on character designers for things they can't even do themselves. And at the end of the video, of course, they share where to find the AI tool and encourage everybody to give it a try. So yeah, that's the video. And before we jump over and check out the insane amount of backlash happening on Twitter, you'll be happy to know that many of the fans' comments under the video were rightly critical of the AI face filter's ability to actually improve the faces. In my opinion, the improved faces have less character. Now, I'm starting to appreciate more the work of game developers who give their characters unique and memorable features that the human face does not have. I wouldn't describe any of these results as photoreal. They're all giving Photoshop beauty filter homogeny. Thank God it wasn't just me. A lot of the realistic faces just look like beauty filtered nonsense. The ones you kept showing, like the Alloy one, you got rid of all her blemishes and called it better. I feel like if you had a girl reacting in there, they probably would have noticed. And this is what I was thinking too immediately after starting the video. Like, how insane is it for a room full of guys to apply an AI beauty filter to female characters? Then they get way too excited when it just gives them like a makeup filter and makes them look more conventionally attractive. If they did this with women from a live action movie or TV show, they'd be mega canceled. And to me, those video game characters were probably based on a real person, so their use of AI filters feels equally disgusting. But let's jump over to Twitter and see what some of the actual video game designers and community had to say. Corridor Digital making our work look worse. Great job, guys. Buy yourselves a drink. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous for them to claim they fixed any of these faces when the character designers still did like 99% of the legwork. They literally just copied their work and changed a few things. And what kind of angle is it to assume that wildly popular video game faces needed to be fixed in the first place? That's like if they assumed all portrait paintings needed to be more realistic, and so they applied a photoreal AI filter to the Mona Lisa. Just something nobody asked for. Interesting that Corridor claims the AI version is way better when all it's doing is removing the skin blemishes, making her eyes unnaturally green, and adding mascara. You have completely lost all of the artist's intent when you do this, and it's insulting. Today, the game dev folks join the VFX club of collectively sighing at Corridor Crew's misplaced confidence that they're better than an entire industry, despite never working in it. And these takes do a great job of summing up this entire recent video situation. It's enough of a bad move that it warrants being called out. But after this relentless string of AI mishaps over the past 2 years, it's gotten to the point where Corridor legitimately needs to take a look in the mirror and improve. Don't just hyper-focus on fixing one concern like you did for Anime Rock Paper Scissors 2, but actually work with real animators to discover AI tools that they could utilize in their actual workflow. Don't develop your own way to work them out of projects you want to create. You guys have the budget and the time. You need to do things the right way. Anyway, here's some of the best memes. And now I need to know, what do you think about everything? We covered a lot, my first big video since the Linus Tech Tips feature film. Are you a fan of Corridor Crew? Have you noticed their descent into using more AI over the past 2 years? And what do you think about the recent Fixing Video Game Faces video? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more internet drama, feel free to check out the even more insane stories from my recent videos. If you have anything you want me to cover, feel free to send it to me on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!